Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Mystical Maker, and in today's episode we're going to be making Captain Rex's Phase 1 armor. I know I haven't uploaded it in like a really long time. This project just took me like a ton of time, so enjoy the video. Let's get into it. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the shins, or like the lower legs. I'm just going to start off with the legs. And for this, I'm using templates from Riser. He has some pretty awesome stuff. And the templates are 100% free, so definitely go check him out. He's also working on a Mandalorian project right now, so that's pretty cool. Basically, the templates are pretty easy to follow. They have like little numbers, and you basically just line them up and glue them together. So after you get all of the pieces cut out, you can glue them together, and then you can paint them or spackle them. I'm not spackling the shin, just because they're flexing too much that they would just crack. And I did the exact same thing, or the exact same process of cutting the template out, taping it together, cutting it out again, and then cutting it out of cardboard and gluing it all together. And the shins were definitely the hardest part, because that was the first piece that I started on. So I might at some point actually remake them, because I'm not sure that I did them right. But after you kind of figure out how the templates work exactly, they become a lot easier to follow. After I did the thigh, I basically did the exact same thing all over again for the other leg. I'm going to basically paint most of what I already have done. This will just speed up the process later on, so I'm just going to go ahead and paint everything white. There's quite a lot of detail and areas with like cracks and stuff, so you definitely want to make sure that you don't miss any of those. And for the shin area, you have to paint like the little knee cover a nice blue. That's just more accurate to the actual Clone Wars, like the TV show. And so yeah, I think they look pretty good. And I also slit or cut open like a little area towards the bottom of them, so that you can add some Velcro and they can come on and off easier. Next, I'm going to be using spackle on the thighs, because those don't really have to flex a lot, they just kind of stay where they are. Whereas the shins have to kind of open up and whatnot. So I'm just going to quickly add a little bit of spackle onto it to give it kind of a roughed up texture and cover a lot of the corrugation of the cardboard. If you don't have spackle, you could use wood filler, or even maybe Alex Fast Dry or some sort of putty. Now we can move on to the chest plate. Basically, this is the exact same thing of just cutting out the template, tracing it onto cardboard, cutting it out of cardboard, and gluing it together. You also want to make sure that you transfer everything from the template instead of just the shape. otherwise you will be very confused on everything. He also has certain videos for the templates, so if you don't exactly understand how they work, you can go check those videos out. I won't put a link in the description, but you can definitely go check out Riser. He has some awesome stuff. After I got one half of the chest done, which took a lot of glue and a lot of time, I did the exact same thing for the other side and eventually ended up gluing it together. In order to make sure everything is in the right place in case I did mess up, I'm using some painter's tape to temporarily hold it together before I glue. This will also just give me a much easier time, and when you're gluing it together, the two halves together, you definitely want to make sure to add some Velcro in the back of the neck and on one side and in the back of the middle. I'll show you a little bit more of how that works later on. Now I cut out the abdomen out of a much thinner cardboard. This is about half the size. I'm using double thick for everything else because I don't have this. But I used the stuff that I had for the abdomen so that it could be a little bit more lightweight. Now we can move on to the arms. Everything here is the exact same process, so I won't explain it to you again. And after I glue them together, they appear to work very well, so I'm pretty happy with how most of this turned out. I also did the bicep and the shoulder pieces. These templates are pretty confusing sometimes, but they're very helpful. So that is basically all of the costume done, and it looks pretty good. Off camera, I got all of it painted already, so that we don't really run into a lot of trouble later on with having to paint it after we've worn it a ton and it's really scratched up and whatnot. So now that we have all of it painted off camera, it's time for the final overview. Also guys, this took me a ton of time, as you could have guessed. I haven't uploaded for like a month, and that's just because this project takes so much time. It actually took me about 2 months to finish all of this, but I did it in between some other past projects, so it definitely took a long time, and you don't want to start this project don't really have a whole lot of time. So with that, let's get into this. So we are here again with all of the armor right next to me. It's just basically sitting on the ground. So let's go ahead and see how it looks when I put all of it on. First thing that we have to put on is obviously the thighs, just because these are pretty important, and the shins can't go, or these can't go over the shins, yeah. So now that we have these done, we can go ahead and mainly get the main piece of armor, the chest plate on. And I might have to do like another coat of paint, because this isn't a very good paint job. But what I was talking about with the Velcro earlier is you have to, I attached the abdomen to this piece, so it has a giant Velcro piece in the back here, and then it has one Velcro piece up here at the top, and it has another larger one right here on the side, and you only need it on one side, and that basically just allows this entire piece to lift off and for us to wear it. So this is basically what it looks like. I also put a little popsicle stick in here, because the chest plate was not staying still, kept on flexing, so yeah, that's basically what this is. And yeah, it is, you might want to get some help whenever you're putting this entire thing on, because after you have this on, you can't straight reach very well over, so definitely want to think about that before you start putting all of this on, to make sure that all of the seams line up pretty well so it doesn't look too weird. And this one back here, perfect. Now I can put the shins on. Okay, that's all good. Now I can take the cod piece, put this on, and literally all of this is in the templates. But if you don't have a printer, I don't think you're able to hand draw this. It's like 30 pages of templates, so definitely keep that in mind before you print all of these out. That's on. This piece should go over, at least the belt part of it should go over the abdomen area. And the final bit is the arms. So for this, I'll normally get my shirt like this, and then put them up like that, and then that'll just kind of push them up a little bit. They don't always match up perfectly, but that should normally be fine. And then I can do the same on the other side. So with the arms, you definitely normally want someone to help you with this. And normally you wouldn't literally be wearing one shirt under this, but normally you would be wearing a black or dark blue shirt underneath all of this armor. Now I can put on the gauntlets, and for the gauntlets, I also put little slits on either side of them, so that you can, you know, put them on a little bit more easily, and they fit on pretty well. Pretty good. And same with the other one. that's basically all of the armor on. So yeah, it's not like the comfiest thing ever, and the helmet. Yeah, it's not the comfiest, but it does look really good. So if you have a ton of extra time on your hands and you're looking for a project, this is definitely a pretty good project to make. Just remember, it takes a lot of time. And going upstairs is not very easy, so you definitely want to think about that, just because of the way that the legs are. You also want to wear long socks before you put the shins on. Otherwise, the shins will rub against your ankles and it's super uncomfortable. So that's basically it for the video. If you liked this project, please consider subscribing. It really motivates me to make more awesome builds like this. And with that, let's end the video. Also, go check out Riser and Dylan's cosplay for their awesome other builds. So yeah, that's basically it. See you in the next one.